Now I just want to basically run over some resources before we jump into the next segment. Anyway, resources. So there are some things in your resources on your business plan, section 1501 through 1508, that you might want to consider as you're building your business plan. As I mentioned in the last class, the .01 is always written last. That's the overview for that section. So you'll start with 1502, and you'll start thinking about related statistics. You'll start thinking about industry involvement for the artist, legal resources, your web resources, your research, your statistics, your demographics. What trade publications are you going to be paying attention to? And then working your database. Okay, so what you're really going to do under each one of these, you're going to say 1502, related statistics. The plan is, okay, so you can start talking about the related statistics that the artist has to be involved with, but then you can talk about the plan. So related statistics, you can start saying it's not the how-to, look it up, but what it is. Okay, no how-tos. So related statistics, some examples might be the average age of the person that would attend your style of show. Maybe that would come under demographics too, on the age, income levels, ethnicity, education, etc. Statistics might be, during the pandemic, there's not many live performances. So statistically speaking, the gigs are kind of out of the question unless you're resourceful. Okay, industry involvement. Are you going to conferences, seminars, those kind of things? Legal resources. We'll talk about some of these as we go through. So 1501 is going to be last, but here's some ideas like, okay, well, if we're going to be putting out some music, let's say related statistics is going to be on recorded music. Okay, well, based on statistics, we're not going to be selling any 8 tracks. Okay, you might want to look at the 9, it might be a little dated here, but you can see that digital is a lot bigger than it's been, and it's growing. So vinyl, well, resurgence. Cassettes, not so much. CDs, still selling. Videos, still selling, not much. Digital, big time digital. So statistically speaking, you fit right into this for recorded music. Maybe you want to talk about the merchandise industry or the licensing part of the business or performing. Okay, next thing, industry involvement. Well, like I say, each one of these is individual. So one statistic that you might want to use, and this is kind of off the wall, but not really, is that the federal government's been printing up a whole lot of cash. Mm-hmm. What does that mean to the industry? Well, that means there's a whole lot more money out there. Mm-hmm. That means that maybe I can sell more. Mm-hmm. Right? So there's a statistic that really comes about because of one thing that happened that fits right into you. There's more money available now. Okay, so industry involvement. This would be things that you do to pay attention. What's it called? The Cleveland music industry on Facebook is a great place to have industry involvement. Doing your networking and relationship, visiting clubs might be part of your plan. Visiting recording studios might be part of your plan. Going to national conferences like South by Southwest or the Midpoint Music Conference or the Midwest Music Conference, or going up to Toronto to the North by Northeast Music Conference, or to New York for the New Music Seminar. There's all kinds of possibilities to get involved with the industry. So what's your plan? Okay, that's what we're looking for. Legal resources. What's your plan for legal? Maybe your plan is going to be to work with the American Bar Association, or your plan is to work with the Cleveland Bar Association for intellectual property or entertainment law. Maybe it's going to be to do your own research on your own. Maybe that's the plan. What are your web-related sources and resources? So I don't necessarily mean to list all of your social media sites, but this is part of the plan, to join certain sites, to have ones that are industry related that you join, the plan to be familiar with other people on the web, to do your own branding on the web, people to see your name and they know, maybe that's part of your plan. So coming up with web-related resources is going to be huge when you need it, especially for promotion purposes. What about your statistics and your demographics? Put this in there. I can tell you an interesting story, and I'll make it quick because one of my clients told me that their fans didn't know until the day of the show whether or not they were going to come to the concert or buy a bag of weed. And I thought that was an interesting concept. So they don't know which one they're going to do. How do you plan for that, right? Well, the gig had 286 people there, or 386 people there. And of course, I'm paying attention. I go look at the bar, and if you know anything about the bar scene, many people put things on tap. So they take their credit card, they give it to the bartender holds it behind the counter, behind the bar, and then you can just reorder drinks as you want, and they just keep charging up your card. Well, I noticed there were about 200 cards on the counter behind the bar. It told me right away that the band did not know their fans. They did not know their demographics. They did not know that the artist could actually afford this in advance. Can't get a credit card if you don't have the money. Well, maybe today you can, but you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, what's the plan for this? Trade publications. The plan is, okay, I recommend that you read a couple of them. Variety and Billboard are the two that I pay attention to the most. Polestar is certainly a good one to get involved with as well. All of them are subscriptions. Billboard you can get at the library, Variety as well. Polestar is more an industry-related magazine for live performances. But there are all kinds of trade publications. And then if I were you, I would occasionally go over to Barnes & Noble and look at the teen section or the music section or the lifestyle section and just kind of see who's making a splash and why. And maybe there's a trade publication that you should put into your database to be contacting on a regular basis. So you can go over there and do that. Talk about databases. Here we go. I gave you a spreadsheet. It's an Excel. We all have a database, I think. Do you have a smart device? Do you have any contacts on that smart device? Then you have a database. Okay, managing that database is somewhat difficult sometimes. My database is huge. It's got over 50,000 names on it, but it breaks it down to lots of details. I highly recommend that you get started on it sooner than later. Take your database from your smart device and download it onto an Excel spreadsheet and then work that spreadsheet. Start adding more names and contact information. Once again, networking and relationship building. This is where you start to do it. When you want a project, you're not going to go and think, well, gee, I don't know anybody. Let me go call them, all these people I don't know. No, you're going to go to your database and try and figure out who could be on your team, and they're going to do the same thing for you. So you want to make sure that you're a part of everybody's contact list and that you have all your main contacts available to you. In my record class, which is in the fall, the class students each choose a major market from around the United States, and then week by week we go and search those markets for nightclubs, radio stations, colleges, places to play, record, so forth, and they build a database for that market. At the end of the semester, we combine them all, and then I combine them all with all the past students, and then I resend them out. So those students that get a database of about 5,000 current names from all kinds of major markets around the United States. It's a great class. Okay, remember, the plan is Okay, are there any questions on this?